gently, rock me slowly, take it easy, don't you know that I have never been loved like this before. Baby, baby, rock me gently, rock me slowly.
Sorry, didn't mean to be yelling in the background. Rock Me Gently, Rock Me Slowly. I love that song, always have. But the interesting part is that song is celebrating its 50th anniversary next month. Released in June of 1974. Went to number one, stayed there for like 4 months, which is remarkable. Who wrote it? Who sang it? Our next guest, Andy Kim. Andy, great to have you back. Welcome.
Aaron, it's been a while. It's good to hear
has.
your voice. I'm just sad that the name Aaron and Andy never get beyond the top 5.
Well, you know, those are the things
We
you have
never
to
get
live
in
with. Yeah, listen, first of all, it's great to have you here. People will know you do a Christmas concert. I read today, is this 20 years you've been doing this? Can that be?
Yes.
Wow.
20 years.
Wow, you do a fundraiser, you do one here, you do one in Toronto. But I want to focus on this because I was just reading some of the notes because you forget this stuff. First of all, can you believe it's been 50 years since that song?
No. I you know, it's like I don't go back. I never go back in life, and all of a sudden I'm hit with the fact that, gee, it's been 50 years.
That's
and I'm
crazy.
still singing, and I'm still happy, and I'm still lucky to have the ability to tour again. You know.
Are you touring again?
Yeah, I did Fallsview Casino.
Oh my God.
Last Saturday, and I'm doing some festivals in the U.S. this year.
That's amazing.
So it's. I'm having a great life.
Good for yeah, and you know what? You've always been sort of down to earth that way, appreciating what you have. You know, kid who came from the east end of the city. I said accidentally you're from St. Leonard, and people started texting. No, he's from Ahuntsic, Villeray. He grew up there. My brother went to school with. We went to. So there, you have obviously a lot of fans here, and you have a lot of family, I guess, as well. People you know when you grew up here. If you would though, because I want to focus on this. I read this today. People forget, you know, you have a hit going back 50 years to 1974. You had hits in 68, 69, 70, and then you hit a bit of a dry spell in 1971 to the point where your record company dropped you, right?
Yes. I grew up in an era where you're told you're only as good as your last 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Right.
So at that time, all those records were 2 minutes and 30 seconds. If you had a semi-hit, you had an opportunity. If you didn't have a hit after you've had 2 hits, you're done. You're on your own. Good luck.
I was going to say, in the history of pop music, there have been plenty of groups that have had 1, 2 hits and then never to be heard from again. You chose not to give up at that point, and you put your money where your mouth was because you actually went ahead, spent your own money, booked your own studio time to put this record together. Tell that story.
Well, basically, you know, it was a dry spell for me, and I had moved from New York City to Los Angeles, and I had written this song one morning, and something about it just wouldn't let me go. So I needed to find musicians and a studio, which I found a studio. I called the Musicians Union. They sent me the musicians I needed. I didn't know them, all strangers.
Wow.
And within an hour and a half, we had made this incredible sounding record. And I stayed and spent the money for an extra 2 hours because I couldn't believe that's my record. And I was so excited that I thought, okay, I can have another 2 minutes and 30 seconds. And this could be like really a big 2 minutes and 30 seconds. But everywhere I went, they said no. I had enough hits and then fell to zero that nobody was interested.
Right.
But nobody in America was interested. So my coach, my chief, my brother Joseph and I decided, you know, coming home, we'll start our own record company. And we started the company called Ice Records, became promotion people. We did everything we learned. I did everything I learned in the Brill Building with people like Lieber and Stoller and Jeff Barry, Ellie Greenwich, and Phil Spector. So we sent it around, and some radio stations started to play it, and there was interest in the Detroit market that gave me a leg up. And 4 months later, it hit number one. John Lennon gives me my gold record. Wow. And I thought to myself, God, sometimes you got to work backwards. You got to climb the mountain. You have to believe beyond your wildest dreams. And someone like John Lennon congratulates you on your record.
I can't imagine what that moment must have been like.
I was frozen. There were no cell phones. There was nothing, but I was like frozen. But what a beautiful moment. What a beautiful thing. I can't not know this song without thinking about the wonderful ending of a story. You freeze frame that moment for me, you know?
I'm going to guess once the song got picked up, you mentioned Detroit started playing it, and then, of course, like radio, it spreads. I imagine as soon as that happened, record companies, all the ones who didn't want to know you, all started coming back saying, oh, yeah, come on, sign with us. Is that what happened?
Yeah, so what basically happened was I was able to make a record deal with Capitol Records. I don't want to. It's a longer story, but I ended up on Capitol, and working with someone who also worked with the Beatles. And when the Beatles split, each one of them had a contract with Capitol Records separately. Mm-hmm. But they had in their contract that the only person that would promote their record is a guy named Al Curry. And he's a legend. He's passed on now, but what a wonderful environment if you really believe in your heart and that you're honest and true to what you're doing. There's a great Basil King quote from 1860, a Canadian, who said, "Be brave and mighty warriors will come to your aid." And so that's me. I was brave. I got into the environment of the Brill Building without knowing anything but two chords. How do we ever get this way, two chords? I think I have a passing chord in Sugar Sugar, I forget. But it's remarkable, and I'm so honored that you're taking the time and that and I've known you a long time, and you know how much respect I have for you and your integrity and the love my family has for you, but it's really cool to talk to you about this today.
Not as cool as it is for me to talk to you, my friend. It's an incredible story, and I think it's one of those stories for people getting, whether it's into the record business, music business, or any business, this idea that, it's the old, if at first you don't succeed. You had success. You had a lot of success. And then, as I said, the bottom sort of falls out. A lot of people at that point just give up and say, okay, I had my time in the spotlight. I guess I'm done. And you did exactly the opposite, and things could not have turned out better for you. And I think that's a remarkable story. So it's nice to share something like that. I think it gives people hope.
Yeah, I think you started off correctly by saying no matter what is, what effort you're doing in whatever job that you're doing, I think the key to who are you? This is your one and only life. So what are you doing with your one and only life?
Hey, I want to ask one question, and I don't know that this is necessarily fair or the story. Sometimes you'll talk to someone years later after they've had a song that became as big as this did, and they said, I knew it was a hit as soon as I wrote it. Did you?
Yes, but I didn't know all the steps that I was going to take. So basically, I saw my future, but I had to go through the mud and the rain and whatever. I mean, for people, turning you down is just the most god awful feeling. But I never thought they were right. So it's an emotional moment when everybody turns you down.
Yeah.
But I guess I didn't care about what they said. I only cared about what I felt inside.
Great story. Listen, we're going to run out of time here. One last question I want to ask. Was this song written with anyone specific in mind? I mean, it's not necessarily a love song. Was there someone in your head when you were writing this or not?
Of course there was.
There was. Okay. Just needed to know. Okay. By the way, and I still think I watched it again because I knew we'd be doing this interview. That Jeep Liberty commercial with this song in it, one of my favorite commercials ever. If you've never seen it, it's worth checking out on YouTube. It includes Andy's song "Rock Me Gently" in it, but it's just so beautifully done with squirrels. And I want to give it away. It's just go watch it if you haven't seen it. Andy, as I said, it's great talking to you. It's wonderful to salute you on this day, 50 years after "Rock Me Gently" went to #1. And thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you when you come to town.
Yeah, I'm honored about our friendship, my friend. God bless you.
All the best to you. All right, Andy Kim, Montreal's own 50th anniversary. Play the song, Brian, before we go to traffic. Rock Me Gently, Rock Me Slowly. Never gets old.
Rock me slowly, take it easy. Don't you know that I have never been loved like this before? Baby, baby, rock me gently, rock me slowly. Take it
Go watch the commercial. It is so good, so funny.